I've got SM9s in the bag, 58, 54, but if I go back to SM7, I had a 60 and I had a 56. My short game's been a little bit tricky at late. Oh, I'm really anxious.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna, you're right. So I'm going to get in the bunker here.
Right.
So I want to kind of go back to possibly looking at the 56-degree wedge because it's something I really enjoyed chipping around the greens with. And then I feel like the 60 maybe is more of a get-out-of-jail club. Also want to look at today maybe a little change in what the bounce is doing and maybe look at a couple of different grinds.
So what was the real reasons that you went 54, 58 instead of 56, 60?
I went to it in SM8 time.
Okay.
I think it was because at the time I maybe wanted something with a bit more oomph out of it when it comes to the full shot with the 56. Over the years I have bounced around between 58s and 60s because I'm probably struggling a little bit with my short game, going to something that I remember being positive. Maybe now with that 60 I want something that's a little bit more floaty, and maybe I can run to my 56 a little bit more when it comes to chipping around the greens, which I wouldn't do with a 54 because it felt just too powerful, too flat in its flight.
We've got a new wedge app that's recently been released. What it'll ask a couple of questions to start with, kind of handicap, course conditions that you play on, confidence in bunkers, that sort of thing. It's going to ask you the loft and model your pitch and wedge to get an idea for gapping. It's going to ask you the highest loft that you want to play as well. Obviously you want to probably closer to 60. We'll kind of go through, hit a few shots with each club that it's going to recommend, make sure the gapping's correct, and then what it'll do is provide some recommendations percentage wise. So it's not, it's not just saying this is going to be the best grind for you, it's saying, there's a couple options in there, it might be worth taking a look at these, and then that's when we'll head out to the green, get you hitting some different shots, different lies, really just all the shots you would probably use each club for. Yeah, and then from there see what's working best and is feeling best for you.
One other thing I want to say is at the time when they released the SM8, they released a new grind which was the 12 bounce in a D grind. And whereas I had the full grind in the F14, I wanted maybe something that was, wanted to experiment with something that was a little bit more versatile. Didn't really feel like I did anything with it.
It's asking us to hit 3 full shots with a 52 to start with.
Okay.
So just down that left-hand flag for us, Dan, would be great.
And this is 52, is it?
52, yeah. You've hit that first shot and they're very, very good.
Yep.
10,000 spin. Already, it's recommending some grinds for you. So
one shot?
One shot, yeah.
Yep.
Because what it's looking at is hands forward, hands neutral, steep, shallow, angle of attack. The way you've delivered that is a little on the steeper side with your hands slightly forward. Again, I wouldn't take too much out of it. Yeah, I would really be looking to hit all the shots it's asking you to before we really look at the results there. But it's just quite cool. It does almost provide recommendations.
Yeah, instant
straight away,
feedback. Yeah, really good.
Good strike.
That's my first 3 shots done.
So 3 shots in, consistency is very, very good. So that circle is pretty similar to where we saw after just your first shot, and the recommendation after 3 shots with 52 full is 52 12F and then a 12D in the 56 there. But again, once we go through it, that might change things up. So pitch shots this time, Dan.
Okay, 15 to 20 yard pitch.
Yeah, so literally just
off the edge here, isn't it?
Just literally off the edge. Same again, the 3 shots. Good. The delivery of that actually much more shallow with a little bit less shaftling. So still recommending the same in the 52 and the 56, but the 60 actually started out M grind as the recommendation. It's now moved to S grind. If it keeps continuing like that, it'll probably be the case where there are similar recommendations percentage wise, but again, it really is when you're out at the green. So the app's going to ask you to hit 52 open face. It's a shot you would never hit.
And how far do you want it to go?
Same distance.
What, 20 yards?
Yeah, just where those balls are, that'd be great. Lovely. The pitch shot and the open face, technique wise, very similar angle of attack, but just a little less shaft lean in that open face shot, which is exactly what you'd expect. You know, you're trying to give it a little help to get in the air. Recommendation wise, it's not changed since the last one. So now it's on to 56-degree full shots. Swing. Great strike.
Oh, I do love a 56.
I mean, straight away, compared to the 54, do you like that flight? Softer and spinnier?
I do, I think, yeah. I really do. It just looks like there's a lot more face there. It just like it's pointing more at me, so I've got a club that's going to go up in the air a little bit more.
Great strike.
I also, because it's an F grind and I almost sense that the launch wants to come out just a fraction lower.
Yeah.
And I can sense that it's spinning more.
Spinny, yeah.
Yeah.
So in the 52, it's recommended the 52-12 over the 52-08, 60% for the 12, 40% for the 08. So that's one that's quite close together. That's one I would probably look at hitting both. The reason it's recommended slightly more bounce is because we've said the course conditions are medium and you mainly use it for full shots. So if you're opening the face up a little bit more, it would maybe have gone with that 08. 56, it's recommended the D at 73% and 27% in the S. So they'd be the ones that I would look at taking out to the green. Reasons being, pitch shot delivery is neutral, course conditions are medium, high confidence in bunkers, and because of the shots you play. And then finally the 60, 50% for S, 29% for M, 21% for D. So again, I would look at taking all those grinds out to the green, getting you hit a variety of shots with them, and really seeing which one works best as an all-rounder.
But this is blind testing now, isn't it?
Yeah. So just so that you don't, you know, I know you've read up a bit and have an idea of what you'd like to play.
Yeah.
But it's better if you go in without any biases.
And I would rather do it like that for sure, because 100%. I know the difference.
Yeah, because even I had someone in the other day and they were convinced it would be
this setup.
Yeah, and we went in and they were unbelievable with a certain setup, and it was like the opposite of what he actually thought. So it's like, if you don't do that, he's probably going to not try and hit this bad, but he's not going to want to hit it good.
And we're doing little flicky shots first?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's maybe not the best place to set up for 56, to be fair, but...
I'd go 56 here.
You'd go, okay.
Let's see a little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more rounds of golf you play, the more your grooves are going to wear.
Yeah.
So as soon as you do get some new wedges in there,
I
wouldn't be surprised if you just noticed them gripping up quite a bit quicker and almost missing a couple short. How's the strike?
So the first two were a little bit lower in the face. That one was a little bit higher. That was a fat.
Good strike there. Yeah, best one yet. Feel from that one?
What's interesting is it felt like, I'm not looking at the bottom of these clubs, so but it felt like it was digging a bit more. But then I expected almost it to pop a bit higher because it's dug a bit more, then it comes higher off the face and maybe pop a bit higher, but it really wasn't. It was shooting forward. It
was nice,
Just felt like the club was in the ground a bit more, that's all. Even though this is quite knitted, isn't it? So. See, that again, I'm not going to look, but that felt like it was less dig, more glide with that. Yeah, that's quite nice, that.
It's very nice.
Yeah, and you can start to see that that leading edge is just taking a bit of the turf now.
Yeah.
Therefore, I feel like this is maybe a little bit less bounce. Let's go a little longer then, shall we?
Yeah, let's go a little longer. I wouldn't mind a couple bunker shots as well, because you said you do that.
Yeah, we can do that. This is where you're now coming into my uncomfortable zone, really.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So this is where I've been losing a little bit of feel and control. So there you go, that's the type of shot that you're going to see from me a bit. There's a bit of a pop to the right.
How do you see it? Just out of interest.
To that front flag?
Yeah.
60-degree lob wedge.
I was going to say.
I can go more open 56, but...
Where do you feel that is?
Probably on my left heel, is it?
No, I'd say it's quite far back in your stance.
Do you?
I was going to
Yeah,
say, you
someone
looked
said
like you
that.
were almost playing it like that.
Yeah, okay.
And with the way that first one came out, I was like, that is not
Yeah, okay, I like that then. There you go.
much better. Hold it.
Do you do short game lessons as well? Or?
No.
And therefore you're going to struggle. Even that as a poppy shot, it's
Yeah.
not right, is it?
No.
So that's a reaction of a shot to the right for me.
Yeah.
Get my hands to just flick at it a little
Yeah.
bit.
JJ,
Sorry,
danger
yeah.
zone. No, you're good.
So the first one felt diggy.
But you see how quickly that stopped.
Yeah.
100%. That's what I would look at straight away.
Yeah. That's.
And it was almost inconsistent. You had
Yeah.
a couple that were decent,
Yeah.
one that dug a little, one that dug a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas that there, really, just really nice turf interaction.
Yeah, that was just, again, like in my brain, I've already worked out what this kind of is.
Yeah.
And therefore I can feel like I can. There you go. Yeah, it's going to come out a little lower, loads of spin.
I mean, that is like to be stopping a 56. I know that ran on a little, it landed on the
Yeah.
downslope, but this is a tough shot with a 56 to be stopping that by the pin,
for
you
sure.
know.
In the two clubs that we've testing here, I'm assuming, we've got 2 degrees difference in bounce.
Yes.
There's a big difference in the way they're performing.
But that's why it's, you know, bounce isn't irrelevant, but it's really more the grinds we're looking at when it comes
yeah.
to these shots. How your technique, I mean, that's class. So spinny.
So
Look at the turf
spinny.
interaction again.
Look at the difference there and there. It's massive.
Absolutely. But yeah, it's really, that's what we're looking for.
Like,
Shot.
all I'm feeling like I'm doing with this club is just chucking that
Yeah.
club into the ground.
Smashing the hard
Yeah.
line in. There's nothing wrong with a grind not working. Like, it's so dependent on your delivery.
Yeah.
Like, if you look on tour, there's a reason why they play certain grinds. There's going to be grinds for those
Yeah.
guys that don't work. What's really important is finding out what works for you. It's almost not even that important knowing why, but I think it's funny what you said as well is there's maybe no real confidence there just now, whereas what you've got now is pretty repeatable turf interactions, nice
Yeah.
strike location.
Really good.
Your feeling is that you can just throw your hands at it.
Yeah.
And I would say the best shots that you're going to hit from this kind of distance are the ones that are fully committed. The only
Yeah.
way you generate spin is speed. So you've
Yeah.
got to be committed.
Like, even that was a bit diggy, but
It's very
And that's-
spinny though.
yeah, very spinny. But all I've done there is I just felt like I didn't release the club quick enough.
Yeah.
So therefore the leading edge is back behind the hands, and you can see the strike location so much higher.
Yeah. But I think looking at the outcome, again, it was still a pretty nice height and it's
Yeah.
still checked up pretty hard for you.
Yeah. Oh,
Great
so good.
shot.
So good. Bunker time then.
A couple different lies maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're really just trying to give you another situation of where you would use this club from.
And again, I would be like pretty confident from bunker play. I'm normally like a 58, 60 kind of bunker would be my bunker club a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But 56 with a bit more bounce on it, I would be playing in those kind of very deep bunkers
Yeah.
where there's lots of sand,
Yeah.
or up against the face where it's maybe a little bit on the upslope. I'd like to play with the slope a bit more and use the loft.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, I think going back to what you mentioned with your pitch technique,
Yeah.
like having the confidence in a soft bunker to throw your hands at this and know that it's not going to really, really dig on you and the club's actually going to come back out
Yeah.
the sand.
So interestingly, even just from that first shot that I've played there, like I know that this club isn't the most versatile.
Mm-hmm.
So even though, like, even from that first shot, the second one I've played there, I've kind of almost like been more aggressive downward
Yeah.
in my approach rather than trying to clip it.
Yeah.
I've gone a bit more aggressive because I want to get.
You've almost got to get that working.
Yeah.
If you're very clean and shallow, probably
Yeah.
is just going to bounce out.
Just going to
Yeah.
fling out over,
Yeah.
over the fence, yeah. There you go.
Great shot. Yeah, no, 100%. I think that's a rare shot that you would hit with this. Realistically, if you had this distance to that second pin,
Yeah.
that, for me anyway, I think that's 56 landing on the top of the ridge and releasing down all day.
Let it go down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the hardest shots you've got in golf, and yeah, it's very good.
You're right, this is where this club comes into its own really. You're getting no concern of getting too much dig.
Not at all. You can throw your hands as hard as you want
Yeah.
and it's coming back out.
So this is a perfect club for this type of shot, because if you've got less bounce or feeling like you've got less bounce, you're either going to have to flick it more, therefore you can catch it a bit clean, or it just digs in and then you've duffed it out onto the edge here and not got any halfway, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think almost same as pitching, if it's any of these flags, it's a different club.
Yeah.
You know, you're not trying to manipulate that. It's just the consistency with that as well, though, Dan. Like proximity average for those three, you're what, 5 foot maybe?
Yeah.
Like, that's unbelievable.
That's the one, 56F 14. Like, I came here today wanting that to be the thing.
Yeah.
And it just, I can see why, in a way, I could see why my short game was that much better before, because I had a club that was, well, just working for me. It wasn't necessarily a better club or whatever, but it's just the individual, isn't it? What it comes down to.
100%. And I think because you're going 52, 56,
Yeah.
60 as well, just because you do one thing with this doesn't mean, like, because maybe didn't quite get on with D grind in a 56,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you won't get on with that in a different club.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's totally different depending on what you need that club to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important to keep that in mind, because, you know, there was a couple of things we spoke about there, like maybe wasn't ideal for a shorter bunker shot with a tight pin, but for a longer one where you want to really stay aggressive and speed, it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, completely agree.
So 60, pretty high tariff shot, straight downwind, down slope, tucked pin. Yeah.
Yeah, not an easy shot.
Yeah.
This one.
Great shot.
It's nice, like it's really nice. I don't know whether it feels quite close to the ground, therefore leading edgewise, so maybe just a little less bounce on it, maybe.
Good?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I don't know what that is, but it definitely flew a little lower.
Great shot.
That's, again, that feels very similar to the 56, where I just feel like I can throw the club down at the ball.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't bother me too much of what the lie is.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah, it was a little heavy.
But it's more, it's not like it's heavy the front, the leading edge digging.
Yeah.
More heavy this part of the club hitting,
Yeah.
almost. Good shot.
Yeah, that was nice. Are you expecting them this low?
That one was a little low.
Yeah, and my ball position might be just creeping back a little bit as well. It's better.
How good's that strike?
Lovely. Again, I can just feel like I can just chuck the club head at the ball.
That's class. Like, I love seeing that height and that much spin.
Yeah.
Like, that's rolling out. I don't know how well you'll see it on camera, but it is an aggressive downslope that you are landing that on there. How's that feel?
That does feel really good, that.
Great shot. That's exactly how I see that.
Yeah.
How good is that?
Wow, like, wow. So run me through them. We're going 60 in the M grind 08 bounce. We're going back to my lovely 56 degree F with 14 bounce. Remember, bounce can be your friend. And then finally we're looking at 52 as the perfect gapping in there with 12 bounce.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Like that, because that's a more fuller shot.
Exactly.
With that 52 rather than flicking it around the greens.
Exactly.
Love it.
Cool.
Thank you so much for your time today, Duncan. It's been fantastic, mate.
No problem
Really,
at all.
really
Dan.
good.
Thank you.
Well, I am one happy boy because this is an area of my game that I've been really struggling with. I've been looking for rhythm. You've seen from other videos that I've done, I've been looking for that little bit of secret there. And I think the 56 is the one. That's the one that, if I go back to some of my best short game times, it was with that 56-degree wedge. It was with that 14F bounce, just keeping it simple, club face square to target, playing those types of shots, having the confidence to throw that club into the ground. Really important when it comes to my game, confidence. I'd like to hear what you think about that as a video though. Comments down below. Have you got wedges very similar to that? Are you going for a fitting soon for some new wedges? Down there in the comments. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again very soon.